This is the old dirty basement, home to debauchery, madness, murder, and mayhem. A terror-filled train ride deep into the depths of the devil's den.
With a little bit of humor,
history,
and copious consciousness.
I'm your announcer, Shallow Throat. Your hosts are Dave, Matt, and Zap. I love you, Matthew McConaughey. All right, all right, all right.
hey, this is Dave,
Matt,
And Zap.
and welcome to the Old Dirty Basement.
where every week we cover a true crime.
Murder,
Or compelling story.
So sit back.
relax.
And comprehend.
Hello, 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 and welcome to a late fall installment of the Old Dirty Basement. I am Matt. With me always is Dave and Zap.
What's up?
Good morning.
What's up?
How's it going?
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
And good night.
Yes. What's up? Anybody? The Netflix, the Paul Tyson fight. Anybody watch that?
I did.
I did.
All right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we all did after the 300 million people that were trying to watch it. Did you guys have any problem with the streaming or
Yeah, it
anything
was
like that?
Very pixelated,
Yeah.
for sure.
But, I mean, the fight was the women that fought.
Yeah.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
The chick that got her eye blown the fuck out.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
She had a vagina on the top of her eye. The thing was, no, honestly, like I've never seen a cut like that.
It was pretty beat up.
Sexy.
But I think those women, like, I don't think they were strong enough to like knock each other out, but they were in such good shape and like fighting style that they just beat the shit out of each other. It was
It
crazy.
would have just kept going on and on, I guess. Yeah. Speaking of Netflix, I guess that's where you found this one today, huh?
Yeah, I did.
The idea for it,
Yeah,
I
the
should
idea
say.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great movie. Watched it and I was like, oh, this is. I didn't know anything about this guy actually. Out of like all the killers that we looked at or did or before in life,
And who is that?
Rodney Alcala.
So, Zap, did you know about this guy?
Nope.
Never heard of him.
That's
I'm
what I'm
still,
saying. Yeah,
I'm still curious as to whether Matt does.
I do not. He was on a movie, and he was a handsome fella.
He was
Yeah,
a
he was.
handsome man.
Yeah, the dating game killer. I was aware of this story. I had heard a podcast on this a long time ago. So I was aware of his crimes and stuff, but I didn't know there was a movie out about it. I did watch the movie. It's not really exactly like the timeline here and the crimes and stuff. They changed some stuff, but it was still decent.
It's fake news.
Yeah.
No, there's no more fake news.
That's
There's
true.
a new man in office.
Woke
fake
is-
news is gone.
Woke is broke, and there's no more fake news.
Yeah, pretty much on this. We can say whatever the hell we want now on this
Can't
podcast.
get away
right.
with it all.
And if you have any problems, like we'll be adjudicated. There'll be nothing that
That's
happens
right.
to us.
Yeah, right.
Fun fact,
Ooh.
in case you didn't know, our Lord and Savior,
Jesus Christ.
Ronald Reagan,
Oh,
was the first actually to incorporate the Make America Great Again campaign slogan
Really?
in his 1980 campaign. Fun fact, part 2, I have a Ronald Reagan 1980 Make America Great Again campaign t-shirt.
Oh, look at that.
There you go.
that's probably worth like $40-$50 right now.
Maybe.
No, I'm sorry, to be clear, it is a very, very recent creation
Oh, okay.
of, or I should say recreation of what had been created, 44 years ago.
You know what I kind of dug is like during this whole election process, there was a lot of like Reagan Bush shirts coming out again, which is it was nice to see.
They're digging them out.
Yeah,
They are.
yeah, I like that.
There you are. Oh, so wait, we were talking about Rodney Alcala.
Yeah, see it.
yeah.
Dating game killer.
Yeah.
I find, I'm sure we'll get to it, but I find that a bit of a misnomer.
Well, yeah, because it was actually he was only on the dating game one time.
It was
Right.
an event.
Yes, an
but,
event
whatever.
in a series of other events that. But I think it was like the thing that made him most popular.
It's unique.
It
is,
I mean,
for sure.
It's not often you didn't see Dahmer on Wheel of Fortune or anything.
That would have been great though.
Yeah.
But it's like, so, all right, how about this? It's like, so if I'm a serial killer and I do all this shit, but I get caught, the police catch me while I'm at a diner eating, I don't know, over easy eggs.
So you're the over easy killer.
Yeah, so
I get-
now
I
I'm the
get
over
you.
easy egg killer, or
Yeah.
I'm eating a bowl of Count Chocula. Now you're the Count Chocula killer.
Yeah.
Well, no,
right.
man, that has nothing to do with any. It was a one-time event.
It's just something I guess makes it interesting.
I like that though,
gives-
Count Chocula or like Franken. What was it?
Frankenberry.
Frankenberry killer?
Yeah, you wonder how many though. That isn't there some kind of stat that in your lifetime you'll pass so many serial killers?
I'm
3 to
sitting
5
with
or
at least
something like
one.
You might be.
Yeah.
You for sure might be.
One of us is here at one time.
But
we're still getting away with it. That's
I've-
why we have the true crime.
I've heard a stat, but like, isn't that the one you say like 80% of stats are made up on the
Oh, yeah.
or something like
you
that.
could say that. You could just say like 79.9% of stats are made up on the spot.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Because people have no idea what the stats truly are.
At 50% of the time, they're right 100% of the time.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
50% of all podcasts end up in divorce. Wait, what?
Yes.
So Matt, you're actually going to lead us through this.
Yeah,
today.
I'm gonna try. I don't know. I'm gonna try my best. This way, you guys can jump in.
Yeah.
Zap's always the one that does like all the research, all the printing stuff out. Actually, you printed these out for us.
To be clear,
today.
the actual research. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I do
Yes.
the actual research.
I'd like to thank Chat GPT for their amazingness and me
Matt,
for my time and effort.
Matt, I want to thank you
I
for
installed.
owning that. Seriously, I want to thank you for owning that.
No, I ain't tell no lie. Come on, bro.
No more lies.
No more phone lies.
I don't remember that.
Shit,
One.
yeah, but I'm gonna try to like take us through this, and you guys do your shit. If you want to jump in whenever,
Yeah, let's do it.
Take a nap.
take a nap, chillax. All right, let's I guess we'll venture down this path of Rodney Alcala. Rodney Alcala, also known as the dating game killer, was an American serial killer who became infamous for his charm and charisma. His chilling story includes a twisted combination of calculated cruelty and a veneer of normalcy that allowed him to evade capture for years.
That was a great synopsis.
Thank you.
That was a wonderful synopsis.
I just came with that straight from my head.
Yeah.
That was like 2 seconds.
Let your fingers do the walking, bro.
Early life and background. Check that out. Born on August 23rd, 1943 in San Antonio, Texas, Rodney Alcala moved to Los Angeles with his family during his childhood. Despite his early promise, he had an IQ reportedly above 160. That means he was like smart and stuff. Alcala's life would take a dark turn in the early 1960s. He attended UCLA and later enrolled in New York University's film school under the pseudonym John Berger.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, go ahead. Like let's unpack. Let's go through this.
So that IQ, John, that's actually his claim. So there's no test out there. It's not like he took that to prison with him and said, "No, man, I got this IQ paper. Here it is. Here's the results of my test."
Yeah, I think they said it was probably somewhere between 130 and 170 is what they thought. But
That's so high, though. I mean, he's not dumb.
yeah.
No, he's for damn sure not dumb. Fun fact: did you know that his dad abandoned the family? So his dad, Raul
Alcala.
Raul, he ran away from the family. He's like, I don't want nothing to do with this. He actually had a couple of sisters.
And he went and started a whole nother family.
Probably
No, he did.
Raul.
Yeah.
Why
So
would
he left when Rodney was like 10 or 11, went off, never saw him again. When Rodney later in life got a call that his dad passed away, they went to the funeral and found out he went on to start a whole new family, new kids. Could you imagine that? Like if your dad left your family and just went and started a whole other family.
Fuck this one, I'm starting over.
But I don't think that wasn't like very strange in like the 50s and 60s.
No,
there was like
man.
a lot of like guys that work like
Seeds
like
were being
steel
thrown
mill
around all over the
jobs
place.
and
Yeah. So you're basically resetting, I guess.
but I think a lot of women were just, as long as you provide for like my family, I'm cool with like whatever other family you provide for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that Rodney and his sisters were actually raised by his mother, Matt, as you had said, in suburban Los Angeles. He went on to join the United States Army
Yep.
in 1960. He served as a clerk there. He was there almost 4 years, but then he had basically a nervous breakdown.
So dishonorable discharge or
He was
honorable?
He was diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder by a military psychiatrist, and he was discharged on medical grounds. So not necessarily dishonorably.
Yeah, he was basically a sociopath.
Yeah,
is
what do they call
were
it? A
saying.
Section 8.
Is it Section 8?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that's broke ass Pennsylvania housing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they said he hitchhiked like 2,500 miles across the country.
God
Ended up on his mother's
damn.
doorstep. She's like, "What are you doing here?" And he was basically like, "Oh yeah, I'm done. I just left and basically hitchhiked."
But I think you have to be smart to do something like that, to hitchhike that far.
Like
can't
we
be like,
said, he
yeah.
was definitely smart. There's people that say that he was the smartest serial killer to ever be captured,
For sure.
because there's ones probably out there that haven't been captured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, you'd mentioned that for sure he went on to the UCLA School of Fine Arts with
Yes.
that alleged high IQ of his. After
Even NYU, like I think that's hard to get into.
some stuff that I'm sure you will get to, he fled the East Coast or he fled to the East Coast, and he enrolled in the NYU Film School. That's where he used the alias John Berger with an E. With an E.
Not
like a hamburger.
Jackson Burger.
Yes.
Like Berger.
Yeah.
So I guess this is where his criminal activity begins.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alcala's criminal career began in 1968 when he was arrested for a brutal kidnapping and assault of an 8-year-old girl in Los Angeles. He fled the state before police could apprehend him, eventually landing in New York. Over the next several years, he would crisscross the country, committing heinous acts of violence, often targeting young women and girls. Despite being convicted of multiple violent crimes, Alcala managed to avoid lengthy prison sentences due to legal technicalities, inadequate evidence, and procedural errors. He was repeatedly released only to re-offend.
There is so much to unpack with what just went down there. So much.
Yeah,
Yes.
that 8-year-old girl, like, do you know the whole story with
That's
that?
this is so fucked up, man.
Yeah, that was insane. Like, the guy was driving down the street basically, hey, you know, you want to come like take some pictures or something along those lines? And she was like, I don't talk to strangers. He's like, no, like your parents, I know your parents. They told me it's cool, this and that. But there was actually a guy that was like, doesn't look right.
Some dude just rolling in his car, and he sees some dude trying to lure this girl into an apartment
with no license plate.
Right, correct.
Well, that was the dude's shtick, though. He was like, I like to take pictures. I'm a
photographer.
photographer. You're trying to make it here in this like big city.
Just
like,
was an 8-year-old.
yeah, but I'm saying like you come to anybody with that, you know, you're like, hey, this is who I am.
Right.
We're gonna take some pictures.
Yeah, that's what he would do with like a lot of these girls, the older, like the ones that were like late teens.
For sure.
He would use that as like, you know, a pickup line, I guess.
So this 8-year-old girl, were you gonna?
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so this poor 8-year-old girl, right? So this, as we'd seen though, so this dude in the car is driving by, and he calls the police after he sees this Alcala luring this 8-year-old girl, Shapiro, Tali Shapiro, into his apartment, into Alcala's apartment. So dude calls the police. Police arrive. Alcala had actually escaped by the time the police arrived, but they found this girl, this Tali Shapiro, in the apartment, raped and having been beaten with a steel bar, laying in a pool of her own blood.
Yeah, it was disturbing.
She was in a coma for 32 days, bro. 32 days. 8-year-old.
Yeah, when that guy got there, he trailed the car. When they got to Alcala's apartment, he parked and went to a payphone and called the police. And luckily, one of the officers that got on the line sent somebody to go check it out. And when they got there, the officer went to the door and knocked. They said Alcala came to the door and like cracked it with one of those chains.
Yeah.
And was like, can I help you? And he's like, yeah, we're, you know, heard about you and a little girl, something going on. He's like, oh no, I just got out of the shower. Can you give me like 10 seconds? I just need to get dressed.
Cleaned up.
And the cop said he's like, I knew right away something was up, but I said, give him the benefit of the doubt, give him 10 seconds. He counted down, didn't happen. So he kicked the door in, and that's when they found all that.
Yeah.
But he was already gone.
Yeah, dude jumped out the goddamn window.
That's like a Dahmer did that too, or no?
Yeah.
Jumping out windows, man.
Could have been Wile E. Coyote.
He could have been.
In a shocking twist, Rodney Alcala appeared as a contestant on the popular TV show The Dating Game in September of 1978, at the height of the killing spree. Alcala, charming and confident, won the game, beating the other two bachelors. However, after the show, the bachelorette Cheryl Bradshaw reportedly felt uncomfortable with him and ultimately declined to go on the date. Her instincts may have saved her life, as Alcala was already an active serial killer at the time.
Yeah,
That's
that was
true.
That was a big part of that movie, but
She found him to be creepy.
Yeah, they said like another guy like on the show said something to her at the time, like watch out for this guy. So I don't know if that was like true or that was like something they made up for the movie.
although the guy did say that he
He knew he was
in
creepy.
real life, he
Yeah.
did have a feeling backstage, because the line they used in the movie was, I always get the girl. And that's what he told the other two contestants like backstage. And they were like, the way he said it was just
He
off.
knew his pimp game was strong.
Right.
Yeah.
But a lot of the other stuff was embellished or made up just for the movie. A couple things didn't really matter, but he was bachelor number 1, not number 3 in the in the movie they made. Which, why would they change that? I don't know. And then I think obviously I think we talked about before the getting on air, but the guy that was the host, they changed his name, I think. And I don't know if it's because the way they portrayed him in the movie, the host of the dating game.
They wouldn't be like a jerk, like a misogynist.
Yeah, they just
like
made
type.
him kind of
Yeah.
like jerky and stuff. So I don't know if they changed the name so that. I mean, they did definitely change some stuff for the movie, and maybe they do that just to, I don't know. If you're gonna make a movie about like real life people, though, I don't know why you would change some stuff, and I don't know.
It's better for TV, I guess.
Maybe, but yeah, a lot of that stuff. But she did not go on a date with him afterwards, and that was true in the show, in the movie. She didn't go on a date because she got creeped out. They did go on a date. I'm sorry.
They said they went to like a restaurant or something, like right walking distance from the studio.
So if you want to call that a date, I guess they did that. But in real life, they did none of that. She never saw him after that day of that airing of that show.
Which I think is probably the likelihood for a lot of that stuff. Like when they're like, like the dating game, how many people like actually hook up?
I don't know. They're the fun fact.
You're saying like stay together?
Yeah. Like how many people go on
not
there?
even like go on an actual date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun fact on that, Sally Field was actually on. They referenced that in the movie, and she really was on the dating game
As a contestant, as a bachelorette.
Yeah, and also,
wait, I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with the dating game. Is the chick always the one, or is it? I'm sorry. Is it always 3 dudes, or is it sometimes 3 chicks?
I think it can go the other way too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she was the bachelorette, and the 3 contestants of the 3, 2 of them she had already dated before, but she ended up picking the guy she never had met before.
Well, yeah, man. She wants that strange.
No, but she didn't know as she was interviewing the guys or doing the game. She didn't know that she knew him. It just by chance she had picked the guy that she didn't know.
Well, no, like Abraham knew Sarah.
Right.
So murders and modus operandi. That's a Latin.
And that means
I don't know. Ask Matt. He wrote this up.
what is it?
What? It's like your mode of
Method of operation.
Yes, of operation.
Okay.
Modus operandi.
Right.
So Alcala's known victims span the late 1960s to the early 1980s, though investigators believe there could be many more. His modus operandi involved luring young women by an offering to take their photographs. He would then assault, strangle, and sometimes mutilate his victims. Known for his sadistic tendencies, he would often toy with his victims, strangling them until they lost consciousness, and then reviving them repeatedly before killing them. That's vicious.
Screwed up.
Yeah.
That's some messed up stuff.
That's like, you're going to die, but like, hold on, let me bring you back.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that, and you were telling me, I watched this movie and this, and I'm like, what? What the? And then when I looked it up, I'm like, oh shit, that guy. I didn't realize he did that. I remember listening a long time ago to a podcast about it, but I didn't know that he would kill them and bring them back to life. Like that's on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
Alcala was arrested in 1980 and convicted of several murders. However, due to legal appeals, he went through multiple trials. It wasn't until 2010 that he was convicted of the murders for 5 women in California, including a 12-year-old girl.
So, I mean, this is a big deal. The dude was arrested in 80 and convicted of a bunch of murders, but, appeals over and over. He went through multiple trials. It took him 30 years later to be, convicted.
Yeah, those appeals were crazy. Like, I remember...
now, granted, this guy isn't running around fucking town. He's in jail.
But the one was, like, crazy that the appeal was because it was something to do with, like, the jury and like, being let on. And, like, it was, like, little nuances of things. It's like, why would that even affect... Like, this guy is obviously guilty.
Yeah.
And he would just find every little loophole he could to like extend. I mean, obviously the guy wants to stay alive.
Well, he had decent lawyers too.
Well,
think about it.
He must have had great lawyers.
So there's a misspeaking here. So he was arrested and he was put in jail. Like the dude stayed there. These appeals back and forth have everything to do with the death penalty.
Yeah, he's just trying to avoid it.
He is trying to avoid the death penalty. The dude was in jail this whole time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
All of these appeals and all of these mistrials have everything to do with avoidance of the death penalty. Just want to make that absolutely clear. It's not like this guy got out in 80.
He wasn't running around.
And was dicking around for 30 years and then finally got captured again. Not even close.
No. But fun fact, too, on the lead detective on that, I forgot to bring that up back when you were talking about the one in 68, I think it was, the young girl, Talia. The lead detective on that, homicide detective, was Steve Hodel. Do you remember him?
Is that the guy that'll leave the light on for you at Motel 6?
I know you were going to bring that up. No, that was Steve Hodel from the Black Dahlia.
Oh, yeah.
So Steve Hodel's dad, George Hodel, was...
that was the guy that left the light on for you.
Yeah, it could have been.
Oh.
But George Hodel was the detective on the Black Dahlia. His son was a detective with the LAPD through the 60s all the way through, I think, the 90s. But he was a lead detective on this. Now, he's a guy that came out later and wrote a book about how his dad was the Black Dahlia.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Black Dahlia murderer, I should say. But anyway.
No cops were looking for that murder.
That's right.
Fat burger.
That's right.
Conviction and legacy. Like how I did that?
Yeah,
that?
I like that.
I love how the
I
computer
did
did
that by
that.
myself. And the computer helped me. Rodney Alcala was sentenced to death for his crimes, but due to the lengthy appeals process in California, he remained on death row for over a decade. He was eventually extradited to New York, where he was convicted of additional murders. Alcala was suspected of many other killings, both in the United States and internationally. See, the internationally I didn't get. Like, what were they saying? Like he traveled a lot, or
I don't know.
I didn't
Maybe
get
in
too
Canada or
into that.
something.
I think that because the fact that this guy could go back and the guy went back and forth between New York and L.A. Maybe, just maybe, he might be, I don't know, down in Mexico. He might be up in Canada.
Yeah, he had family in Mexico.
That's correct.
Yeah, because the grandmother, early on, I remember she got ill, deathly ill, and they moved back.
Nannies.
Yeah. So
But
maybe he was down there at one point and did some murders and stuff.
That's what I get. Like sometimes, like, yeah, this guy was a little bit crazy, so we'll blame these 20 murders that we haven't figured out a murderer for. We can throw them on his direction.
Well, DNA will get him now. You know.
Well, yeah, but like he might have not had, like, there might have not been any DNA on that. You know.
Maybe. I know one that they got him on with the DNA.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get to that.
There's a bunch.
Yeah.
In July 2021, Rodney Alcala died of natural causes at the age of 77 while still on death row at Corcoran. Is that what it is? Corcoran State Prison in California?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Corcoran.
Corcoran. So kind of like
Corcoran?
It's like Johnny Cochran.
Johnny
but
Corcoran.
It's like
Cochran.
Correct.
Yeah.
Cochran.
Cockring.
Yes.
State prison in California. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
So anything on that, guys?
I mean, no.
I mean, that's
he's
it.
dead. Sounds like that's the end.
No, it's not. We have a legacy to go on.
Oh.
It's chilling, actually.
You're gonna try to connect the dots.
Yes.
now and all
Here we
that?
go.
All right.
We're going to go back in time. Yeah. The story of Rodney Alcala is a haunting example of how a seemingly charismatic individual could mask his malevolent tendencies. The case also served as a wake-up call about the flaws in the criminal justice system, where repeated legal oversights allowed Alcala to evade justice for so long. Investigators have continued to review the photographs found in Alcala's possession, hoping to identify additional victims. His case remains one of the most disturbing in America's criminal history, a stark reminder that evil can sometimes wear a charming smile. Because this guy was like, smooth.
Well, they kept saying he's good looking. Oh, he was a good looking guy, but I mean,
He had to be on the dating game.
No, he
did you
was
see-
a
did you-
decent looking guy,
He
but
was
like
okay.
nothing. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I didn't think he was like. They kept saying how handsome he was. Oh, he's so handsome. I mean, I think he was an okay looking dude.
He's no Ted Bundy.
No, Ted Bundy's like one of the better looking. Where you could look at that guy and go, oh yeah, no wonder they were like.
No,
Justin
who was
and
the guy
shit
with
like
the
that.
messed up teeth that got
That was
busted for his
Ramirez.
sneakers? Yeah, Ramirez. They said he was good looking too. Like he got a lot of ladies would love him.
He was that
when he was
bad,
up for trial.
The bad boy look. He had a unique look.
It was unique.
Yeah.
We'll call it it was like a Spanish American type look, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he was, like I said, not bad looking, but I wouldn't have looked at him and been like, oh, he's like so handsome, like they were kind of portraying him. The guy in the movie, they made him even more dumpier looking. I thought.
Yeah,
like kinda,
dumpy.
Yeah,
I like my oatmeal lumpy. Rodney Alcala was a notorious serial killer whose crimes spanned over a decade, primarily targeting young women and girls. His confirmed victims number in single digits, but authorities suspect who may have been responsible for dozens more.
yeah, like 130. They said maybe.
Yeah, but that's all like alleged stuff, though.
Yeah,
Here's a summary of his known and suspected crimes. So what did you say? Like how you said 120?
I heard 130. What was it? 5 confirmed, but who knows?
They're just throwing the fucking kitchen sink at this point. They can't figure it out, so it's like, oh, he must have done it. He must have done it. Case closed, move on.
But isn't that like most of the crimes we do? Remember, like there's like 4 that they can legitimately, or 5 that they can like put to this person, and then the rest is like there's 20 unsolved, so we're just going to throw them over his way too.
Yeah,
That way, it gives like their like investigating crew like less work.
right.
So these are his confirmed murders: Cornelia Crilly, 1971, New York City.
23, huh?
Yeah, she was. Yeah, a flight attendant was found raped and strangled with a nylon stocking in her apartment. This crime remained unsolved for nearly 40 years until DNA evidence finally linked Alcala to her murder. So wow, that was DNA. There you go, man.
Mm-hmm. Is that the one in the movie that they showed when he was out shooting pictures and stuff?
Shooting pictures, then back into her apartment.
Okay.
Yeah. Ellen Jane Hoover. Hoover.
1-0.
Ellen Jane Hoover, 23, 1977, New York City. Hoover, the daughter of a prominent Hollywood nightclub owner, disappeared after scheduling a photography session with Alcala, using his alias John Berger with an E. Her remains were found in the woods of a Rockefeller estate at Westchester County, New York, nearly a year later.
Fun fact, I think it was her.
Not so fun. It's
not fun, but
No,
it was her
it's not fun.
Her godfather was like, what's his name? Sammy Davis Jr. or one of them. Or who was the other guy
Frank
from the
Sinatra?
Rat Pack? No, the other guy. He's in that group.
Joey Bishop?
No. More popular. More.
It starts with a T.
Come on, you know.
You had Frank Sinatra. You had
Handyman.
Dean Martin.
That's him. Yep.
That's who it was.
No, that's blood relative.
They were blood relatives.
Blood relative.
Oh, okay. That was her blood relative?
Correct. That's like her grandfather or some shit. Or
Are
her,
you sure?
Wow.
what the fuck do I know?
I don't know. Like, do you have it there? Because I thought it was like a godfather or something like that.
I'm pretty sure it was blood relative.
All right.
Pretty sure.
Damn.
We'll hold out on that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll edge you with that one.
Edge me on it.
Jill Barcombe, 18, November 1977, Los Angeles. Barcombe, who had recently moved to California, was found raped, beaten, and strangled. Alcala left her body posed in a canyon near Los Angeles. This was like one of his spots. Like he would take them out to like those desert areas for like photographs, and that was like one of his like murder spots.
Yeah, kind of desolate.
Yeah. Georgia Wixted, 27, December 1977, in Malibu, California. Wixted, a nurse, was found beaten, sexually assaulted, and strangled in her apartment. Alcala used a hammer to bludgeon her before strangling her with a cord. That was also one of his things, like the cord.
Yeah, like the stuff. Yeah.
Charlotte Lamb, 32, June 1978, El Segundo, California.
Left my wallet there.
Yeah, I'm still.
Oh, yes, I got to get it.
Yeah.
Got to get it. Lamb was found dead in the laundry room of her apartment complex. She had been raped, beaten, and strangled with a shoelace. Her body was also posed after death. Damn, a shoelace.
Mm-hmm.
Jill Perotinu, 21, June 1979, Burbank, California. Perotinu was found murdered in her apartment. Alcala had broken in, raped, and strangled her. She was killed just weeks before the dating game appearance.
So this is way more than 5.
Yeah, they're already up to
okay.
like 6.
I was going to say.
That's all, like, I guess the DNA evidence, right?
Maybe.
Robin Samso, 12, June 1979, Huntington Beach, California. This was the crime that led to Alcala's eventual capture. Samso disappeared while riding her bike in a ballet class. Riding a bike to her ballet class. Her decomposed body was found in the foothills of Sierra Madre Mountains 12 days later. Witnesses had seen Alcala taking photographs of her shortly before her disappearance.
Sierra Madre, that's a good bar.
Isn't that around here?
Yeah, it's on. Used
on
to
the
be.
West
I don't know
Shore.
if it's around anymore.
Yeah, here in
Sierra
PA.
Madre is a fantastic bar.
Yeah.
Their food is incredible.
Are they still around on
Shit,
Market
yeah.
Street? Okay.
Yeah, no, you're like in like 10 minutes from there, aren't you, Zach?
Yeah.
Five
Madre.
at
Madre.
best. 5 at best.
I didn't even know that place was open until like Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
I thought it was the only day like out of the year it was open.
Yep. So here are some other crimes and suspected victims. So maybe these are the ones that are. So it looks like 7 confirmed.
7 confirmed murders.
Okay.
Murders.
Murders. Yeah.
Murders.
While Alcala was only convicted of the 7 murders listed above, authorities suspected he could have killed many more victims. Investigators believe that Alcala may have murdered up to 130 people, but the true number remains unknown. This suspicion is based on several factors.
So I wonder where they come up with that number. Like, is it just
I think it's a
averages?
bullshit number.
I think it's just lazy work.
Just like, there's this many dead people out there.
Like Zab said, I think it's lazy. Like, I think they have people like that are put on these murder cases, and you can't find exactly who did it. So it's like it seems like it can fit in this category.
Yep.
So you throw it under there, and that way you can put a solved on under it.
Yeah, or just leave it as a cold case. It's it's hanging, but we think it's him, but he's dead, so we can't figure it out. So it's just cold.
Right.
Is that what the cold cases are?
I mean, cold cases is essentially you can't go any further. You've exhausted every effort that you know of, so it's just going to sit there. And in this case, every effort leads to the The facts fit the circumstances, fit the MO of this guy. It looks and walks and talks like something this guy would do.
Right.
Well, we encountered that with Jack the Ripper. We encountered that with a number of people.
So under like the cold case though, do they put that in a separate, but is that considered solved then when they group it under that 130?
I don't think they can consider it solved.
Okay.
No, because it can't be
Okay.
confirmed.
Correct.
It's
It's still suspected.
So it's something like, but the guy can like, take a long weekend and not have to like get into work early or
Right.
something. Okay. All right. These are based on like things like the photograph collection. After his arrest, police discovered a collection of more than 1,000 photographs in storage locker in Seattle. These images were mostly of young women, children, and even boys, many of whom were suggestive or vulnerable poses. While some individuals in the photographs have been identified and confirmed to be alive, many remain unidentified, raising the possibility of additional victims.
Do you know how that came about, the storage unit?
The Seattle storage unit?
Yeah.
No.
So this is how they found out about it. So they had a receipt.
Okay.
They didn't, for whatever reason, didn't look into this receipt. They were just like, whatever. Storage unit, whatever. He was on, he was in prison. His sister comes in to visit. And everything's recorded when you're talking and, in meetings or whatever. When you go into prison to meet somebody.
Sure.
He goes to his sister, hey, I need you to do something for me. There's a storage unit up in Seattle. I need you to go clean it out before they find it. So he's telling his sister to do this. And they're like listening in like, oh shit, he's talking about that storage unit. We better go check it out. Sure enough, they go open the storage unit. Boom. All these pictures, photographs, earrings from victims, all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? So his dumbass in there telling his sister that basically led them to all that evidence.
But that's what we talked about with like these serial killers that we go over. Like he wanted like the pictures, he wanted
it's like memorabilia,
the jewelry, he wanted the earrings, the necklaces, right?
Mm-hmm. It's all stuffed trophies basically from your crimes. You can go back and revisit it. Oh, look at this one,
But even though you know that you can get in trouble for that, like I don't know why they can't get, like a lot of guys have been taken down over leaving stuff like in their apartment, in their rooms.
Mm-hmm. It's like I said, it's just trophies for them. They look at it and like, oh, all the stuff. That's why he took the pictures and stuff too.
So here are some of Alcala's alleged East Coast murders. Alcala's time living in New York City, particularly in the early 1970s, coincided with several unsolved murders. He frequently traveled between the East and West Coast, making it difficult for authorities to link the cases across state lines. Alcala was known to have traveled extensively throughout the United States, and authorities are reviewing cold cases in states where he was known to visit. Oh, so there's a cold case thing again.
Yeah. So they might be tying him to more, but this is 21 when he died, so I don't know, like if this is from back then when they're talking about this or, currently. So
Alcala often used photography as a lure to gain the trust of his victims. He would approach women and girls, offering to take their photos to build his portfolio. The tactic allowed him to get close to his victims, many of whom were aspiring models and simply flattered by his attention. This is where he uses like smooth skills.
Yeah, that's where the camera came into play. Speaking of that camera, so when he was 15, he got gifted a camera.
It was like a Nikon or like
I don't know what brand
it was.
Nikon. But that kind of started his infatuation with photography at a young age. He was like, oh, I kind of like that. I think his mom got it for him when he was like 15. Well, the dad wasn't around, so it had to be the mom.
But in the movie that they had on Netflix, not to say this was like true or anything, but they kind of like showed him. They said he had a book that had like Linda Blair. Remember her from like The Exorcist?
Oh, The Exorcist, yeah.
Yeah, so apparently he did have like pictures with like some famous people.
Oh, wow.
And he would go around showing his photographs. And like, oh my God, that's Linda Blair. Oh my God, that's like so-and-so. So
like,
he did have something where he just like bullshitted his way into like really good pictures of some famous people.
No, I do remember now you said that. I don't know if that was accurate or not, but...
No, that's what I mean. I don't know, but I think he did have in real life like photos of
famous people,
and they were like, oh wow, how do you know them? Or okay, I trust you,
right?
Which they could have been just stuff that he grabbed from a magazine or whatever.
Could have clipped it out of Tiger Beat or something. Yeah.
I don't know if they had that then, but
maybe not.
What was the other Tiger Beat and 16? Yeah,
I don't know.
Sexual assaults and kidnappings. Beyond his murders, Alcala had a pattern of sexually assaulting women and children. He was convicted of kidnapping and assaulting 2 teenage girls in the 1970s, but avoided longer sentences due to procedural errors and plea deals. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Like
this guy just slips through the cracks constantly.
I don't know if we talked about this yet. His cruel
methods.
his methods.
Yeah.
Like of a serial killer.
Well, I know the one thing did come up, but
I think
it's
it was
a little more in
I think we just like touched on it. We just like teased it a little bit. It wasn't like we get like deep into it. He would often strangle his victims to the point of unconsciousness. Yeah, I think we talked about this. Then revive them, only to repeat the process multiple times before finally killing them. The sadistic torture pattern indicated his desire to control and prolong his victims' suffering. So he would take them down, then bring them back.
Yeah, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm trying to think if we've ever covered anybody else that did anything like. Well, I know Dahmer. Well, no, he wanted to just keep them alive, but as zombies.
Correct. That's right.
But it was never like.
Yeah, he tried to like drill into their brains and stuff like that.
Right. He just wanted to bring them back as zombies. He just didn't want them to leave. But I don't know of anybody that would like bring him. But I know a lot of those guys get off on the actual watching the life leave the body, kind of like that control.
Sure.
So maybe it's one of those things like I want to do it over and over and over again.
I'm pretty sure we've done at least somebody like that.
But no, I think it was more of just like a strangulation thing. I think he would go to like they had their last breath and then he would like do like CPR.
And bring them back.
Yeah, and like try to bring them back. Like maybe sometimes he did it, sometimes he failed.
Wait. Well, no, you weren't around for this one, Zap. But we did do the angel of death. Remember that? This nurse would would like have patients and she would kill them basically to bring them back to life.
God
like,
bless that woman.
Like a God complex.
She's a saint.
No, she was not.
She was not. She was no angel.
The angel of death. Yeah, that's an old school podcast.
I guess she was an angel then.
No, I know, right?
Send me an angel.
Yeah.
Such a good track. That is such a good track.
That was from the Rad movie.
Yes.
Who was that again?
Lori
Loughlin was the girl in the she got in trouble with the law.
Mm-hmm.
Lori Loughlin.
Yeah.
But no, who was the artist of that?
I can't remember.
God damn it.
Oh, it's they're from Australia. Because we said they moved to Highspire, I think, in the podcast. I forget the name.
I think they did.
Yeah, I think that's what.
They're like right down the street from where Zap grew up.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
I think so. I think that's the whole band.
I don't know why I remember that, but I just remember we found the name, and then I think Zap or you said, I think they live in Highspire now. I don't even know why that came up or what the reference was, but it was funny.
Hey, if you guys want to figure that out and look into it, go ahead.
Yeah.
So anyway, like another thing with this guy, like he would pose the bodies of his victims in sexually provocative positions after the death. Mm-hmm. Which was a hallmark of his killings.
And he had pictures of like young boys too. He was doing this stuff with like young boys too.
Oh yeah, he was into the boys.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the girls.
No, it was Frank and Beans all day for him sometimes.
Yeah.
He was equal opportunity employing.
A lot of these killers, they have one type and that's what they'll go after. Like Dahmer wasn't killing chicks.
Right.
Or like Berkowitz had his type. And then he was even down to like they had to be brunettes and this and that.
Who was shit? I don't know if we ever did him, like the fish guy. We didn't do him yet, did we?
He was just a torture. Like he would put needles in their stomachs and.
But he would put like needles in himself and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
Or I saw something about him the other day on I don't know what, like on YouTube or something like that.
Yeah, he was like one of the OGs, like back in the 40s. I think he was around.
But he was mostly like into like the child stuff, right? He wasn't
From what I know about him, and like I said, it was bits and pieces I picked up along the way. He was just like a sadomasochist, like let me torture you, and I like to torture people, not so much murder them. I mean, I think they'd end up dying, but
yeah, I think he's a little deep for us, even though like some of the stuff we get into.
I would like to do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I just saw like a thing. It was like a 10-minute thing on him, and it seemed like he would put needles and stuff into himself, and like leave like he would put nails into his like what's this bone right here?
It's like a carnival act or something.
Yeah, what's this bone? Like the hip bone or the pelt? Yeah, like I don't know. That's some crazy shit, man. Back to Rodney though.
No.
Alcala would often use ligatures like shoelaces, nylons, and cords to strangle his victims, and he sometimes beat them with objects such as hammers.
That's insane.
Well, no, that's like a lot of killers though. Like anything they can grab or.
Yeah, hammer would fuck you up.
This just really goes to show you, guns don't kill people, people kill people.
And hammers, yeah.
Look, I'm telling you. So it is impossible to take away the guns. It's impossible. It could never happen.
But
people are going to find a fucking way.
Right, they're going to kill you with
correct
whatever.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Like the U.S. though is a little crazy with like the gun killings. Like you go to other countries, they're kind of like mellow. because I think there is less guns. But here it's like it's a little crazy. It's a little nuts.
Well, I did hear a number, and who knows if this is accurate, but it says 80% of serial killers were active between 1970 and 1999. So during that era, I guess, was the time maybe that you could get away with more and do more, and maybe that's why.
Look, anything before the internet you could get away with.
Right. So, but there's still got to be people around active now, or maybe their outlet's something else.
Matt rattled off the name of 7 murder victims. It was the 7th one in timeline order. That's the one for which he was originally caught. The other 6 didn't show up until DNA bullshit
Till they got it. Yeah,
tied
that
him
way.
to it.
But back to that point about the 80%, like, there's got to be serial killers out active right now. You know what I mean?
Sure,
Like doing
fuck yeah.
you know, that we're just not aware of.
I'm sitting right here, bro.
Yeah, I know, right?
What was that like a podcast about murders of the guys that are committing the murders?
That was our idea.
That was our idea, yeah.
That's going to happen. That's going to happen.
There's going to be a movie, I think.
That we're making a movie of it.
Yeah.
We're going to hopefully film it in VHS.
It's going to be with that Gyllenhaal guy. What's his name? I could see him.
I don't
in
want any Hollywood in it.
No,
No
it's-
Hollywood?
No, it's got to be us.
Yeah, they can't be
it.
in
Why
it.
just us though?
I don't want.
Because it's about us and we don't have any fucking money.
Yeah.
It's like FUBU, but for us,
That's
us
it,
by
yeah.
us.
Officer Vince.
So
can
that
be
it
in
is in fact FUBU.
Yeah.
I mean, we can get people involved. Hawk can be in it.
Dude, we're
Doc.
definitely having Officer Vince. He's going to crack the case.
He'll be in it. He'll be
When
the star.
are we doing the Officer Vince road trip? Because I'm looking forward to that.
Probably after this, because I have a feeling once this podcast drops, we're going to have a lot of time on our hands.
Come on, man.
We should. Why do you think I did this one? God
Yeah.
damn it!
Trying to end it.
Yeah.
The final countdown.
You know, it's a fun fact.
Fun fact
Today is November 22nd, 2024.
of the year of our Lord.
Exactly 27 years ago on this day,
We did our first podcast.
at the age of 37, Michael Hutchence, singer of NXS,
Yes.
killed himself.
hung himself. Well, on the doorknob.
I think it is serendipitous that on this same day, Matt is trying to kill his podcast.
Oh, come on.
Oh, too soon.
God bless you all.
No, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, this is great.
This will probably be the highest rated one.
Of course.
I like it. I'm
just-
supporting
yeah.
you, Matt. I'm supporting
Thanks,
you,
man.
buddy.
Thanks.
You know I love you, man. I'm just having
Yeah,
fun.
I know. That's why I like doing this podcast.
Yeah.
Like I'm here for the people and for Rodney Alcala.
And Chat
Right.
GPT.
Yeah.
She is or he, whatever it is, he, she. I don't even know if it's what is AI. Does it have a gender?
It's whatever you want it to be, Matt.
Yeah.
It's non-binary, despite it being binary.
Has our president I think he might legalize this.
Make it illegal.
Yeah, he might not even let this be anymore.
Wait, did you say illegalize?
Yes, he will legalize it. Illegalize it.
I don't know.
I don't know. It could be. So anyway, it wasn't until 2010 that Alcala was tried for 5 California murders, using DNA evidence to link him to the victims. In a bizarre twist, Alcala chose to represent himself in court. Hey, we see this a lot.
Yeah, right. That's what Bundy did that.
Yeah,
too.
Bundy did that.
Mm-hmm.
He thought he was a smart cat. Showing no remorse and even questioning himself on the witness stand.
Yeah, and
What?
he did different voices too. Like he would put on an accent for the one, and yeah,
Jesus.
yeah, just to switch it up.
It helped, I'm sure.
Yeah,
He'll say like,
sure.
I don't know, man. I don't know what happened to him.
I don't know what accent he used, but
Yeah, man. I'm like cool with that.
yeah. I mean, you
Yeah.
got to switch it up. You
Well,
gotta do that.
yeah, he was ultimately convicted and sentenced to death because this guy's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Alcala was later extradited to New York, where he pleaded guilty to the murders of Cornelia Crilly and Ellen Hover. Despite being sentenced to additional life sentences, he remained on death row in California until his death from natural causes in 2021.
Yeah, it's just like a waste, back and forth. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just end the guy already.
I don't know why the
I think
justice
it's a
system
waste of
does that.
money.
It makes no sense to me.
I guess because it's the justice system and whatever, but just seems like a waste to keep moving the guy back and forth across the country.
So here you go, Zap. In conclusion, see, I added that myself.
Yeah, I like that.
Rodney Alcala's story is one of missed opportunities for justice.
You didn't add that yourself at all.
I did. I said conclusion.
Oh.
I told it. I said I'm done.
Oh.
And it said, conclusion. I was like, how did it do that?
How do it know?
How does it even know?
How do it
Oh my God. For years, the justice system failed to contain him. allowing him to continue his gruesome acts. His appearance on the dating game while actively killing is a stark reminder of how some predators can hide in plain sight, masking their true nature with charm and deceit. Despite his death, the investigation into his possible victims continues, with cold case detectives across the country trying to link him to unsolved cases. His legacy remains one of horror, with lives shattered by his unspeakable acts. I like how they have unspeakable a lot.
Unspeakable.
Yeah, it's like unspeakable.
This guy was one of
the Matrix.
Yeah, it is the Matrix, but he was one of the worst. It's just amazing that he got away with so much for so long, and that he, 68, he escapes out the back of an apartment, ends up in L.A. He was in L.A., ends up in New York. When he was in New York, he was at New York University and then NYU. He was working as a camp counselor.
Yep.
But that just goes to show you, back then it was so hard to track people, and like you said, before the internet. So it's not like social media and different things where a picture might pop up on social media from camp wherever the fuck they're at. And there's
wherever the fuck they're at.
You know what I mean? And there's Alcala. Why does it say his name's John Berger or whatever,
No, I think the group's called Al Qaeda.
Yeah, it is Al Qaeda.
Yeah.
No, oh wait, this guy.
So hopefully something like that wouldn't happen nowadays. I couldn't imagine a guy like this getting away with, a 20, 30 year, or I guess it was 68 till, I guess it was only 10, 12 years of murder. But still, that's too long.
It's a good long time.
And who knows what he did before that. 68's the first time that we know of anything documented that he was involved with. Like, could have something happened at an earlier age? How about when he was in the military? Like, who knows?
That's true. That's true.
But back to that.
That's another part of the triad.
Yeah,
the military is always in there.
Yeah, so we haven't brought up the McDonough triad. So he had the military. Was there any abuse?
The parents, they were separated, correct? Or
the father left.
Yeah, the father left.
Mm-hmm. He was in Catholic school. I don't know. Is that part of the triad?
I don't think so.
Catholic school's up there though. I think it's borderline. It's borderline triad.
Yeah. But I don't know if he had any of the other things, but there wasn't a lot on his early life. And a lot of the stuff that they were saying with this guy, when you go to research it or look stuff up on him, he would give reporters like false information. Like his story would change. So there'd be a report out there about a timeline of when, he worked here or did this or did that. And it would go against something he told another reporter. Like, these guys are going to lie.
Was it with like jobs or anything? Like, I think he just was like, quote unquote, a photographer, right? Like, he didn't really have
a job. I don't know.
Job.
He worked at the newspaper, I think.
Well, he tried to get like a job as a photographer.
No, he worked at the LA Times.
LA Times. He was a typesetter. Yeah.
What the hell's that?
Didn't ChatGPT tell you that? He got a job at the LA Times when he. Yeah, this is after he was arrested and ran away.
Yeah, right. But what did he do?
A typesetter.
What is that?
Oh God! So back in the day,
is that somebody like dresses cool?
That's a trendsetter.
Oh, okay.
So you take all of these little metal letters, and you put them onto a big plate.
Oh, is that when they run it through?
And then they run ink over it, and then they run paper over it.
I think I did that in McDevitt when I was like part of the. I did the
Catholic Witness.
Catholic Witness. No, it wasn't the Witness.
The Twin Towers.
Yeah.
There you go.
That was my shit.
Yeah.
You had to like cut things and you put them on like this piece of paper and
I would run that guillotine in the back of the room.
Cut paper. Guillotine.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. We used to do that up in the Witness. You guys don't know about that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Can I get a witness?
What?
No,
but that was the story.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. The movie was decent, but I watched the movie and then I went back and revisited all the facts about this guy, and I'm like, okay, a lot of that in the movie was not accurate.
Yep.
So I would tell you, if you're gonna watch it on Netflix, just be prepared that it's not. It's just more of an interpretation of the story. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I thought. Like with the movie out on Netflix, like people have Netflix. It was like something hot right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking that something nice to talk about. Not nice, but.
Did you see there's a Zodiac thing out now?
Yes, I saw it. It's three part.
Yeah, and so we had covered the Zodiac.
There's now so many movies about that.
About the Zodiac?
Yeah.
Well, they
actually know. They think they know the guy.
Well, they think
directly.
This guy that they're on Netflix, that the new show, they're trying to pin it on this guy, but who knows?
But he was the one that they actually. Who? I don't think they'll ever figure that one out.
I don't know if there's DNA with that one.
They don't have any though, because you would just shoot them and then get away. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it was like young kids that were in like these spots that they would park.
It wasn't. There was no sexual.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah,
and it was no up and close like physical stabbing. And well, he did stab. No, he did stab.
Yeah, but I mean, there wasn't any like he didn't have any like cuts or, there wasn't any semen left behind.
No.
They also said they tried to get him because he had a .22 pistol, and it was a .22 caliber. I don't know. I thought that one was interesting though. I like that one.
I dug it.
Hey guys, can you wrap it up?
Oh man.
Oh,
It's
God.
time.
Yes, Mrs. Dave. Yes, we can.
Yeah. I think Zab's probably ready to get out of here, but Matt, I enjoyed it, dude. I think you did good.
I think.
Thanks, man.
I think it was Matt. You read very well. Seriously, you did a good job.
Time and effort for everyone.
And,
I hope you all enjoyed it out there in Radio Land.
So you guys got anything else?
I got nothing.
All right, guess that's it for now. So we'll catch you where?
On the flip side.
If we don't see you sooner, we'll see you later.
Peace. Thanks for hanging out in the old dirty basement. If you dig our theme music like we do, check out the Tsunami Experiment. Find them on Facebook. Their music is available streaming on Spotify and Apple, and where great music is available.
You can find us at Old Dirty Basement on Facebook and Instagram, and at Old Dirty Basement Podcast on TikTok.
Peace.
We Audi 5000.